and welcome to Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as can be in just about 20 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello. With me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm excited to talk about tonight's show. It is one of my favorite places to stay, and it's not because it reminds me of home, but it is another episode of our resort series. Tonight, we are going to talk about the Boardwalk.
It is a great resort, and it's funny that you say it's one of your favorites because it is based on the Jersey Shore. And so, like we've talked about before, I love it for location. I do sometimes say, I don't need to be down the Jersey Shore, but that's what it's based on. And those of you who always wish to vacation at the Jersey Shore, I'm not sure who you are, but I know there's a lot of you.
Yes, there are.
This is it. And so you can go to Disney's Boardwalk Inn or Disney's Villas at Boardwalk Inn.
So who is it for? If you were to go ahead, and I know you do this often with clients, who would you say that this particular location is for?
I'll be honest, this one isn't typically a first choice recommendation for us. It is one that I recommend based on location. And sometimes it's about price point. So one of the things that I love about this resort is that I can walk over to Epcot.
Right.
But we also know that right across the way from it is Disney's Beach Club and Yacht Club. And they are just known for the most amazing pool. So sometimes people end up skipping the boardwalk in favor of Beach Club and Yacht Club. But it's definitely a place for somebody who wants a deluxe resort, a place for somebody who wants some extra nightlife. That's definitely one thing that you find here that you don't find at a lot of the other resorts. And depending what you're looking for in room layout, somebody who might be looking for more space or looking for certain views. And in some seasons, it's that this room is the deluxe resort that has a discount. There's no bad choice on Disney property. They're all great. And that makes it hard sometimes to pick just one. So even if it wasn't your first choice because your first choice was unavailable and this is what you get, I think you're going to love it.
Well, I agree with that. And I know you had said it's one of your choices for location. And one of the things we talk about every time we break down these resorts show by show is we talk about transportation options. So I know we're going to get to your favorite mode of transportation in this particular section, but let's start with the feet. Right? You said very, very clearly you can walk to the back entrance of Epcot from here. If you're ambitious enough, you can even walk to Hollywood Studios from here. But what are the options for transportation?
One of the key things when you talk about walking is to think about those that actually aren't walking. You being able to walk as an adult makes it a great resort if you've got a child in a stroller or a family member using a scooter, because there is no loading it onto a bus or waiting for the right boat ramp or any of those things. That walking location makes it super easy.
Right.
There is also a boat that goes to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. It's going to be bus service to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. And I will say it is typically a shared bus, which is not one of the things I love, but definitely you can make it work. And as you said, we will always talk about the Sky Gondola system. Disney bills this as a Sky Gondola resort. I don't think it really is, honestly, because you've got to walk to Epcot's International Gateway to get to the gondola. You don't need to get on it to walk the last 5 feet into Epcot. If you get on the gondola to go to Hollywood Studios, you're going to take it over through Riviera Resort, over to Caribbean Beach, get off at Caribbean Beach, and switch gondolas to go to Hollywood Studios. Once you're going to walk and do 2 different gondolas, you're better off walking in the other direction and just walking all the way to the studios or taking the boat. I really don't think this is a gondola resort.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that the piece here that sometimes we've discussed with other shows, though, is that if you want to ride the Sky Gondola as an attraction itself, it is at a walkable distance from the resort that can be something you choose to do.
That is true. And that's also true. Let's say you want to do Topolino's with Mickey for breakfast at Riviera. We talk about there not being resort to resort busing, but this is a way to get from the Boardwalk to Riviera or even Caribbean Beach to do some dining.
Very good point. Okay, so let's break down the rooms. A lot of different options here. I'm going to let you just kind of rattle them off because I think that it is a little bit overwhelming. So go ahead.
So this resort has two sides to it. And literally when you walk in, you can go right or you can go left. They do have a shared lobby. And off to the right is the inside where the rooms in the main building are going to be 95% the same as we've talked about before. It's about the view. So they can sleep 5, 2 queen beds and a day bed. Some rooms are king bed. It's a standard view, a garden view, or a water view. There are some special rooms off the boardwalk. There's a little garden section, and there is some rooms in a separate garden building there. And then they have the club or concierge level. And they have one of the new rooms that I've come to love because they're very unique. As far as I know, at this point, they only exist at 2 properties, and this is one of them. And it is a deluxe room that sleeps 6, 2 queen beds and a queen pullout. So again, most of our rooms sleep 5. This gives you a room, not a suite or a villa that's going to sleep 6. They have a 2-bedroom suite that sleeps 9. And of course, there are always some of those rooms with these specialty names. The Sonora suite is available here as well with that club level service where you can have breakfast in the morning and afternoon snacks and dinner appetizers and drinks and desserts. So that little bit of extra that comes with that extra rate.
So a lot of different options. Whenever we've broken down some of these resorts, we've mentioned that there is a Disney Vacation Club aspect to it. This is no different from those. So why don't you break down the Disney Vacation Club options that exist in the resort?
Definitely. And this has a lot of the ones that we've seen every place else. That studio that's similar to a hotel room, but includes a wet bar. So you're going to have an extra small sink and a microwave. These studios were refurbished pretty recently. So they've gone from Sleeps 4 studios to Sleeps 5, the 2 queen beds and the banquette. And I shouldn't say 2 queens, a queen bed, a queen pullout, and a banquette.
Correct.
The 1-bedroom, which we've talked about a lot, the 1-bedrooms are kind of unique because they're double the space of the studio, but they don't increase the occupancy at all. They only sleep 5. However, if you want to put the kids to bed in the living room, you've got a nice door to close between the living room and the bedroom. You have a full kitchen, and by full kitchen, literally like a kitchen at home, full-size refrigerator and freezer, a stove, a microwave, a dishwasher, and your room is going to come not stocked with food, but stocked with dishes and pots and pans. So if you want to cook anything while you're there, you can. If you just want to do the simple of cereal and milk and everybody helps themselves, because there will be a dining table in your living room. And one of the things that I love in the 1-bedrooms that people sometimes laugh at me for is a washer dryer. We use it like a hamper. We throw our stuff in there every night, and then every couple of days I run the washer dryer. As the mom who's the laundry person when we get home, I would rather fold a load of laundry every day or 2 on vacation and come home to things that I need to do at home, not come home to 3 suitcases of dirty laundry. So that's the 1-bedroom. Then we go to a 2-bedroom, which is actually a studio and a 1-bedroom put together. You're going to have a bedroom with a bathroom, that 2nd bedroom with a bathroom, and the living room. And then they've got grand villas. And they are, as their name implies, grand. They sleep up to 12, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, living room, formal dining room, table, balconies galore. They are all on the water side, so you can view that boat that we were just talking about, see over to Yacht and Beach Club and maybe even get a glimpse of some of the high fireworks on Harmonious. One thing to keep in mind with the Grand Villas is some of them are one floor, but some of them are 2 stories within the hotel itself. So some of them are on floor 4 and 5 connecting. So if you have somebody with mobility issues, it's super inconvenient to leave your room, go down the hall, get on the main elevator for the resort and go up or down 1 floor and come back. You want to make sure that you put in that request for a single story Grand Villa.
So again, every time we've talked about these resorts that have DVC, Disney Vacation Club, attached to it, we do mention you do not need to be a Disney Vacation Club member to stay in these particular accommodations. But also every time we mention the DVC aspect to these resorts, you know that we talk about our friends over at dvcnews.com. And for more than a decade, DVC News has provided the latest news and information regarding the Disney Vacation Club timeshare program and its member resorts. Visit them at dvcnews.com, where you can sign up for their email newsletter, or look for them at facebook.com/DVC News or twitter.com/DVC News. So obviously, as a DVC owner that I am, I know you are as well, that's the accommodation that I've stayed in most frequently in this resort. I found it to be certainly more than adequate for my vacation needs. However, as we say time and time again, it really depends upon your traveling party, which leads me to our favorite topic to talk about, which is food at this resort. And food at this resort is a tricky one, because we're going to record this show in February of 2022, and we're going to give you a bunch of different options. And I'm going to be honest with you. These options have changed frequently since I've been going to this resort, and some of the theming has remained consistent, but the actual restaurants themselves have changed. So I'm going to put out the disclaimer that we don't always put out. As of this recording, let's talk about the food options at this resort.
And I will say it is a little unique. Again, they want to have that Jersey Shore feel. You're on the boardwalk, but it really, with the exception of Kidani Village, which shares services with the main Animal Kingdom Lodge, it's the only resort that doesn't have a true food court / quick service location.
Right.
So if you're somebody who's always in the food court, this might not be for you. But it has some great dining options. And again, if you're listening to this and you've never been to Disney before, some people will never eat at their resort. They'll only eat in the theme parks,
right,
or they'll eat in parks and other resorts that they're going to, or they might have 1 or 2 meals. I personally say that you shouldn't pick the resort solely on food offerings, because it's not like other vacation destinations where you're going to be there and that's going to be your only opportunity to eat. But they have some great ones, starting with the Flying Fish. We've talked about signature dining, and the Flying Fish is one of the top signature restaurants, very well loved, recently refurbished as well, right there on the boardwalk. Also right on the boardwalk, Trattoria El Forno. Great Italian restaurant, open kitchen design. And in the mornings, though it's currently on hiatus, we expect it back, is the only breakfast on property where you can meet Disney princes. It is normally Rapunzel with Flynn Rider and Ariel and Prince Eric. So that Prince-Princess combination is very unique. Again, keeping with the boardwalk style, 2 other restaurants I love, ESPN Sports Zone. So great spot if you're there during World Series, Super Bowl, any sporting event, more TVs than you could want, and your typical sports bar kind of fare. And at the other end of the boardwalk, Big River Grill. They are a microbrewery, and you can see the brewery right there.
So I will mention too, just jump in on these 2 items from Big River Grill. Like when you go there and you're going to order their flight of beer, you can get a sampling of what they have. Fun thing to do. ESPN Zone. Make sure that if you're there for an event like Sandy's talking about, that you understand that you're going to have to put your name in and you're going to have to wait. My wife and I several times have caught the NCAA tournament at this particular location. She's listening now, so she'll tell you that every time we go and we go to this particular restaurant, Duke happens to win the national title. So that's a good thing for her since she's a Duke fan. But just understand that there's some waiting, there's some swooping in. You're going to have to be a little bit creative with how you get your table there. And that's always a question that I get asked too about sports fans that are in Disney World. Where am I watching the game? Where am I watching the big game? ESPN, among others on property, but ESPN at the Boardwalk is certainly an option for you.
And I'm going to let you in on a little secret, Jeff. While they normally don't take reservations, they do special booth packages if you are there for what they're going to consider a key event. So if you're there Super Bowl Sunday, you can actually do a booth package in advance.
Good to know. Okay, what else? There's a bunch of other options here.
It wouldn't be a boardwalk if it didn't have ice cream, and I am sad to say that we no longer have Ample Hill Creamery there. That was a favorite of mine.
Mine too.
But it's been replaced with Edie's Ice Cream, so we can still get ice cream. There's a pizza window. There is a bakery, which is much more than a bakery. It's a great spot to pick up sandwiches and some light bites that are non-cooked items. You're not going to go there like for grill.
Right.
And right on the corner between Trattoria, El Forno, and Flying Fish is the Abracadabra Bar. And while it is a bar you can go with children, it is all about magic. And so some really unique things to take some time and look around. Also, one of the things I love about being in Florida is outdoor seating. So what's better than a nice bar with outdoor seating? And because they don't have that food court, I think one of the things they realized pretty early on was people sometimes, even if they're not eating food court kind of food for dinner, they want that grab and go quick option in the morning. So within the resort itself, not on the boardwalk, is the Bellevue Lounge, and they often sell bagels, croissants, some of the basics that you might get at the bakery. But if you're headed for a bus, the bakery is totally in the wrong direction. So
yes,
it's kind of a way to make everything work for everybody.
Recreation options. That's one of the things we always talk about when we go about these resorts. A lot of different recreation options here. A lot of people, when they think of the boardwalk and they have the picture of their pool in their head, they picture this, for no other way to say it, this scary clown that the slide to the pool comes out of the clown's mouth. We're sorry to say, Sandy, I'll let you break the news.
Thank the Lord, the scary clown is gone. And again, it's a prime reason that I say to people all the time, the internet is a phenomenal tool, but there's nothing in the internet that goes from puts that outdated or see update stamp on everything.
Right.
So you're going to find a lot of references to the scary clown side. You're all Googling because you want to see a photo of it now. It's gone. And you're not going to know that necessarily just looking at pictures and reading reviews on the resorts, because that's not current.
Right.
But it disappeared in 2021, and we are happy to see it gone.
Now the slide is there and the pool is there, but you're no longer coming out of the clown's mouth to get to land in the pool.
Correct. And again, it's boardwalk themed. So the clown was the encasement of the pool slide,
right,
was an old-fashioned wood roller coaster, and that structure is still there. But thankfully, Scary Clown is gone, and it's been replaced with a Fab Five facade.
Right. Okay, so we got a bunch of others. We can just rattle off just a couple of them quickly, and then,
a lot of the things that we've come to expect from Disney resorts now: an arcade, a playground, movie nights, a spot to run, a spa and a gym, because it's a deluxe resort. And I will use the word spa very loosely. Yes. There. It is not one of the major spas on property, but somewhere that you can get a massage. They also offer yoga on the lawn several mornings. They have Surrey bike rental that you can ride from the boardwalk all the way around the lake, past the beach and the yacht club. Because they're on water, they do offer fishing. At night, there is the typical boardwalk carnival games that you would expect, as well as different boardwalk entertainment. Everything from magicians, cowboys and cowgirls teaching you how to rope, jugglers, specialty musicians, lots of fun. That said, we often have people that will say to me, and we're planning a whole night at the boardwalk. Unless you're planning to empty your pockets on those boardwalk games or you're doing dinner at the boardwalk as well, I would say that the entertainment is not an entire evening worth of entertainment. Now, if you're on an adults only trip, my favorite adults only spot on property sits at the very end of the boardwalk, and that is Jellyrolls Dueling Piano Bar. And it is something you definitely don't want to miss.
Is there anything else we didn't cover that you think is worth mentioning?
It is a convention hotel, so maybe you get lucky and you or your spouse are there on business, and so your room is covered that way and you can extend your stay. It does also mean that it has some of the typical convention services like a business center. So things like boxes being shipped are going to a business center with a fee. You can still get regular grocery delivery, but UPS is received at the convention center. The other thing, and I definitely can't go against this, if you're looking online for reviews instead of talking to an agent, somebody who's been to all of these resorts and can really fit it to you, Boardwalk wins the award on property, and it's not one that you want to win. It wins the longest hallway award. If you get the last room in the hallway, you might be in another zip code.
It's far. It is. It's very far.
It's somehow, they kind of put these little turns in the hallway so that it's not as sprawling as some other resorts, but especially at the end of the night, by halfway through the trip, definitely another zip code that you're walking to. So know that that's something about this resort, but the good part is at least it's all indoors. So if you're there and it's raining, it's a long walk, but not a wet walk.
Sandy, I appreciate you taking the time tonight to break down this wonderful resort, and have a great week.
Have a great week to you too.
And that's a wrap this week on Let's Talk Diz. If anyone you know could benefit from this or any show, please share, have them like and subscribe. And don't forget to reach out to the folks at Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination planning. Make it a great week. And as always, keep making memories.